Be yourself. Express yourself. What used to be called sin is nowadays called expressing yourself. Expressing your sexuality, masculinity, femininity, self-confidence, and so on. A man's business savvy is applauded even though his success came at the expense of others. However, he justifies it by saying, "That's who I am. I was just expressing myself." A person who has multiple sex partners is said to be expressing their sexuality. A person that doesn't exercise self-control over their tongue says they're just expressing their true feelings. God said in Genesis 3 that the serpent was more crafty than any beast of the field which God had made. His strategy was to get Eve to mistrust God and focus on herself. He convinced her that she could be like God. The serpent convinced her that God was trying to suppress her and prevent her from experiencing everything the garden had to offer. God was preventing her from realizing her full potential. Eve needed to express herself. She needed to be herself, express her true feelings. Now, the philosophy of self-expression, which had its beginning in the Garden of Eden, is a popular concept in psychology today. The emphasis is on self. Christianity, they say, restricts self-expression. Well, the truth of the matter, they're right. Jesus does restrict self. Jesus said in Matthew 6:24, "If anyone wants to follow after me, he must deny himself." You see, Jesus is very clear about who and what self is. Man, self, is fallen. Self is not the solution. Self is the problem. Now, I don't want you to misunderstand me. Self-expression in and of itself is not wrong. We express ourselves every day in hundreds of different ways. Some people express themselves through their music, others through art, and some through their occupation, and so on. The problem with the psychology of self-expression is its false view of man, which teaches mankind is a material being only. There is no immaterial side of man, no soul, no spirit. Man is just a highly evolved animal. Therefore, they tell us, in order to discover your real self, you've got to allow your animal instincts to control your thinking and behavior. Remember Jesus' words over in Matthew chapter 15, verse 18 and 19. He said, "But the things that proceed out of the mouth come from the heart. For out of the heart come evil thoughts, murders, adultery, fornication, thefts, witness, slanders, and so on." The actions or behavior Jesus described start in the heart, the immaterial side of man, and are carried out through the body, the brain, and the members of the body, the hands and the feet. Jesus said man is not just a conglomeration of biological forces. You are more than just a body. When your body dies, yourself, still lives. Your body is an instrument which you are to use and control. You are to control your impulses and to use your body to glorify God. The psychology of self-expression ignores man's real self. It rejects the sinful and fallen nature of man that's taught in the Bible. You see, if man was not fallen and sinful, all of his impulses and instincts would be functioning righteously. In that case, it would be a good thing for man to follow and allow his impulses to guide him. There would be no restrictions because there would be no sin. But unfortunately, man is fallen. The talents, abilities, and powers which God gave to serve man have become man's master. That's why he has to be vigilant. There's nothing inherently wrong with man's body, but the perverting effects of sin have made man's body an instrument of sin that can be dominated, or an instrument of sin that can dominate his life. You see, the idea of self-expression has one standard by which it judges everything. The standard is pleasure. The test of right and wrong is pleasure. Does it give you pleasure? Now, the Bible doesn't denounce pleasure and enjoyment. However, the Bible teaches there are some things that are pleasurable and at the same time can be dangerous. They can have hidden dangers. You see, children have but one test of whether something is good or bad. Here it is. Does it taste good, feel good, or is it fun? Little children don't understand or ask whether something's right, wrong, safe, or dangerous. The child just wants pleasure. You see, sinners will always express themselves in ways contrary to God's plan and purpose. They'll express themselves in terms of autonomy, pride, and like Isaiah 53:6 says, a desire to go their own way, to be their own God. The self-expression movement, which has influenced every area of life, has its roots in Genesis chapter 3 and man's rebellion against his Creator. What an utterly misleading and false view of man that ignores sin. Thanks for watching.